everybody. Tobias and Emily here. We are just heading over to Troll Hill Road, which is the reputed sighting of not Dogman necessarily, but something described more like a bear wolf. In fact, there is a legend on Holy Hill, which houses a monastery, of something called the bear wolf. So back in 2006, November 9th, 2006, a guy named Steve Kruger, he was a contractor with the DNR, and part of his job was to pick up animal carcasses. So if somebody hit a deer, there's a dead deer or something on the road, he would come pick it up. And so one night he was out on Troll Hill Road picking up this dead deer carcass, and he had it in the back of his truck, and he noticed his truck shaking a little bit, and he dismissed it at first because he just thought it was the wind, and it kept happening. And so he looks in his rear view mirror and he sees what he describes as a well, for lack of a better word, a bear wolf. So it was big like a bear. It was dark. It could have been brown or black. It was difficult to tell because it was dark outside, and really all he had was like the lights on his truck. And keep in mind, it's behind him, and it's pulling this deer carcass out of the bed of his truck. Got his ATV ramp too, when it managed to tear that carcass out. And he said it had these big ears on the top of its head and a much longer snout than is normal for a bear. So, something similar to a bear, but with some wolf-like features, which, is pretty unusual. So we thought we'd head out to the spot of the sighting, and then go hike around Holy Hill some and see what we can come up with. Okay, well, here we are on Troll Hill Road, and again, this would have been the area of Steve's sighting here. Now, as you're going to be able to see, this seems pretty secluded, but there are some houses back here. And once we get up to the intersection, you'll see that this is a very popular hiking spot. You can see up in the distance there the monastery at the top of Holy Hill as well. It's a rather striking feature of the landscape. But there are a lot of hiking trails and things back in here that are very popular for people to traverse for fun and the love of nature. So while it is relatively sparsely populated, there, like I said, there are houses, but there's also a lot of wilderness out here as well, because it is such a popular natural area. There's a weird mixture. I think if you're out here at the right time, at nighttime, it would be pretty damn deserted, and I think that was the case for Steve. But if you're out here during the day, then it seems relatively well populated. But again, those people all go home at night, and then there really isn't much out here other than a few isolated houses. So pretty interesting stuff. We're going to hit some of the trailheads, I think, and see what else there is to see as long as we're here, and maybe run into a bear wolf.
It's really pretty, isn't it?
It really is. So after going and checking out Steve Kruger's sighting area near Holy Hill, we decided to hit some of the trails. Because of how busy Holy Hill was that day, there was some sort of religious convention at the nearby Catholic Center. We decided instead to find some of the nearby Ice Age trails. We ended up on the Low Lake Trail specifically, and even it was of relatively busy for that day. Now, that is to say, when we arrived, there were maybe a dozen, 2 dozen cars. And there were other people that we encountered on this trail, which is very strange insofar as considering this as an active sighting area. Now, one thing that we needed to consider, of course, was the fact that when we went on this initial scouting expedition to get the lay of the land and check everything out, it was mid-afternoon on a relatively pleasant day. So when we go back, of course, it will be much later, and I imagine there won't be nearly as many people around. Now, as you can see from the trails here, despite its relative popularity as a scenic and hiking location, it is relatively isolated. There aren't a large number of homes in this area. There really aren't many major population centers nearby. You do have scattered country homes and such. And it is relatively close to areas like Milwaukee for people who are willing to commute, but there's still a real sense of isolation. And that's certainly something that I think lends itself well to the idea that there could be something strange lurking about these woods. Certainly, eyewitnesses have reported such. Ultimately, I feel like we learned quite a bit here as far as what to expect when we head back for a more in-depth investigation. So stay tuned for that, and hopefully we uncover something quite strange indeed.